This is my first question. Bill books record the day-to-day business of the next mobile store. Because of this, the shop owner has to calculate the daily income and expenses at the end of the day. This action made him very uncomfortable. The shop owner decides to use computer software to make this task easier. The shop owner has requested the creation of a computer software to a software development company called Thilina Gayatra Soft to create the computer software for this purpose. You are a senior software engineer in this company. You and your team are tasked with developing the software database. The software must have these requirements. So these are the requirements. The store employs 5 people. All employees should be able to use this software. Customers should be able to register, must be able to register suppliers, should be able to review billing details provided by suppliers, must be able to review details of bills issues, must be able to include details of items sold in the store. Create a database called Next Mobile DB. Question set 12. Create a customer table to register customers for this software. Follow the instructions below to create this table. They have given me the column names as customer ID, primary key, auto increment, first name of the customer, last name of the customer, gender, address number, street 1, street 2, city, contact number, status. So the data type for customer ID is integer, and for the other columns they given the data type as varchar and the length is different. So let's start to create this table. You can add the table from this icon, and now I'm going to edit this table. I'm going to name the table as customer. And now I'm going to add the columns to this table. So the first column is customer ID. I set the data type as integer, and this is the primary key of this table, and this is auto increment. So the reason to set the primary key as customer ID is according to the columns, when comparing columns they have given, so this one is not repeating, so because of that I'm going to set this as primary key. And the next column is first name. For this the data type is varchar and the character length is 45, and the next one is last name. For this also I set the character length as 45 and the data type as varchar. And the next column is gender, because gender is female or male, so that's why I set here the data type as 10. And the next column is number. This I set the data type as varchar and the character length as 45, and the next one is street 1. So I set the data type as varchar and the character length as 45. Next column is street 2. For that one also I set the data type as varchar and the character length as 45. So the next column is city. For this also I set the data type as varchar and the character length as 45. And for the contact number column I set the data type as varchar and the character length as 10, because in Sri Lanka the phone number only contains 10 digits, so that's why I set the character length as 10. And the last column is the status. For that one I set the type as Vacha. So you can see I have created this table. This is the customer table. I have finished the part 1 of the question set 12. So this is the part 2. Create a table called supplier to register the suppliers of this software. Follow the instructions below to create this table. So they have given me the column names, supplier ID. That one is the primary key for this table, and that column is auto increment. So for that column the data type is Vacha, and the other columns are first name, last name, number, street 1, street 2, city, contact number, email, status. So for those columns they given the data type as Vacha and the length is different. So let's start to create this supplier table. First I'm going to open MySQL workbench, and you can add table like this. So I'm going to name this table as supplier. And I'm going to add the first column, supplier ID, and I'll set the data type as integer, and this is the primary key of this table. This column is auto increment. So the second column is first name of the supplier. So for that column I set the data type as Vacha and the length as 45. For the third column, supplier last name. So for that I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 45. The next column is number. For that one also I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 45. The next one is street 1. For this also I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 45. Next one, street 2, I set the character length as and data type as above. For this city column I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 45, and the contact number I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 10, because a Sri Lankan phone number contains 10 digits. And the next one is email. For that I set the character length as 45 and the data type as Vacha, and the last column is status. For that one I set the data type as Vacha and the character length as 1. So the data type Vacha means you can enter any special characters, letters and numbers. So that's why I set the data type as Vacha for the all columns except supplier ID. So now I have created this table, you can see. So I think I have completed all the requirements of Next Mobile. So I think you can understand how I create this database and the reasons why I use the data types and character lengths and the primary keys.